So, just because the Abbotsford Canucks have themselves a crazy important game later today does not mean that the Vancouver Canucks are out of it. Because David Pagnotta went out there and published the fourth period's top UFAs list heading into the 2025 offseason. This article was posted yesterday, and there are a number of Vancouver-related things that I think we have to dive into. We'll talk about the guys that the Vancouver Canucks are linked to. We will talk about where it is that Vancouver guys might go. Because when it comes to Vancouver, if you just search for the city name on this top UFA list, you'll find 4 different names that are written about here in regards to the Canucks. You have, firstly, the second overall name on the entire list, Sam Bennett. Now that the Panthers have gone back-to-back, it seems even more unlikely that Bennett will leave Florida. As the fourth period's David Pagnotta reported before the start of the Stanley Cup Final, Bennett's expected to re-sign with the Panthers on a deal in the 8-year by $8 million AAV range. We'll see where it ends up once this crosses the finish line, but if his initial Cup celebratory messages are any confirmation, this should be ironed out well before July 1. Stay tuned. Teams reportedly linked are Florida, of course, Toronto, Vancouver, Vegas, LA, and Chicago. Now here's the thing, I don't think we can put any stock into Sam Bennett leaving anytime soon. He did have his Jordan Belfort exclamation, "I'm not effing leaving" at the bar a few days ago, so I think it's probably more likely that Sam Bennett stays. But let's go on to the next name that Vancouver is linked to in this list. It's the 4th overall person on the article, Nikolaj Ehlers. All indications going into the season were it would be Ehlers last in Winnipeg. The Jets will surely try to keep him around long term, and winning can alter someone's mindset, but we will see if Ehlers and the Jets can extend their marriage. Given the shallow free agent pool, though, Ehlers is among the big fish teams would love to catch. Teams reportedly linked are Winnipeg, Carolina, Vancouver, the Rangers, the Islanders, and the Blue Jackets. So, there you go. Vancouver linked to Sam Bennett. Vancouver linked to Nick Ehlers. We've been hearing about Ehlers as a potential Brock Boeser replacement for pretty much the entire season here, and I think with Ehlers' versatility, with his foot speed, with his on-the-rush sniping ability, there is a lot that you can see improve in terms of the Vancouver Canucks forward support if a guy like Ehlers were to find himself on the team. But that's not it, though, because the crazy part about Vancouver-related players in this article is number 5, Brock Boeser. He is linked to 9 other NHL teams. Bruh, David Pagnotta, what are you doing here? Brock Boeser's linked to 1/3 of the whole gosh darn league. He's ready for a change of scenery, the write-up says, and as the fourth period's David Pagnotta reported last month, it's a long shot that he signs in Vancouver. For teams looking to add some scoring punch in their top 6, Boeser is a top option for them to pursue this July. Teams reportedly linked are the LA Kings, the Minnesota Wild, the Ottawa Senators, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Anaheim Ducks, the Buffalo Sabres, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Nashville Predators, and the Detroit Red Wings. What the hell? All these teams are going to be vying for Brock Boeser's services? There's no way this guy re-signs in Vancouver. We had seen Rick Dollywell's sentiment last week on Halford and Bruff that says, hey, Patrick Allvin is giving Boeser the right to go to free agency and explore the market. But if he doesn't get what he wants, Vancouver will be open to renegotiate. There is no way Brock's not going to get what he wants when 9 teams are going to be knocking on his door asking for him. Like, you don't think one of these teams is going to give him the term that he wants? He's like, okay, yeah, you want to give me 5 years? Well, I want 7. They're like, oh, no, we can't give you 7. We'll give you 5. How about that? Brock can just say, yeah, well, I've got 8 other teams that I'm also negotiating with, so you better give me 7 or else I'm going to yeet off to one of those. It's such a position of power here. Like, I understand Canucks fans' sentiment that says, hey, maybe Brock just really isn't that good, and maybe he won't be able to get what he wants, and maybe Patrick Allvin was right when he said that the offers for Boeser at the trade deadline were not great. Because if Brock goes out there into the free agent pool and nobody wants to give him what he wants, then he might just have to come back to Vancouver. Like, if they're all going to give him equal term, nobody's going to overpay for him in terms of the years, then it's a lot easier to say, oh yeah, well, I can't get 7 years, I can only get 5. Might as well just get 5 in Vancouver because I like it there. But nah, there are 9 other teams here now that Brock Boeser is linked to, and we can have a conversation about all of them. Brock Boeser in LA, hey, he's being reunited with Andrei Kuzmenko, assuming Kuzmenko stays. I don't know if that's likely, but replacing Kuzmenko, okay, great. Brock Boeser in Minnesota, the hometown hero from Burnsville, coming back to play with the Wild and potentially put up 40 goals alongside Kirill Kaprizov. That sounds great. Brock Boeser over to Ottawa. Hey, Travis Green loved Brock, so there would be a really nice connection over there. Brock in Tampa Bay? You're going to be having Nikita Kucherov and Jake Gensel setting this guy up? Never mind the 40 goals he had scored playing alongside a JT Miller. Imagine Brock as the net front presence with Kucherov, Hedman, and Gensel over there. And Braden Point. He could get 45 goals in Tampa Bay, man. Anaheim is in an interesting spot because they're bolstering up everything about their organization. They're grabbing the coach that nobody wants but has a winning record. They're grabbing Chris Kreider and Jacob Trouba, these former New York Rangers. They're going to make a big swing to get Mitch Marner, and then they're also going to get Brock Boeser because they have so much cap space. I mean, Anaheim could be a great destination if Brock just wants the money. And it wouldn't be the first time a former Vancouver legend found himself with the Anaheim Ducks later on. Ryan Kessler, Kevin Bieksa, Ryan Miller too. I mean, there are a number of guys that could fit that bill. Buffalo. Imagine Brock going over to Buffalo. Oh, I don't think that would be a good fit. I don't think so. Like, he would just be miserable there, I think. Yeah, no, we just made a video about Buffalo. We're not going to talk about them a little bit more. Brock Boeser and Chicago? Imagine Connor Bedard feeding out pucks to Brock Boeser. 2 guys with the sniping ability that they have, although I do think that Brock's sniping has significantly declined over the past few years. He's a lot more of just a regular old goal scorer now than he is a pure sniper like he was. But Brock with Bedard, I mean, Chicago just got Burakovsky as well. They could be really bolstering themselves up. Mikheyev and Boeser together on the same team one more time. The Nashville Predators being linked to Brock is hilarious because you know that part of that has to do with the fact that Brock absolutely torched Nashville in the playoffs last year with last-second hat tricks and multi-goal games out the woo. He went totally ballistic against the Nashville Predators in last year's playoffs, so if they need goal support and Jonathan Marchessault is on his way out, Brock Boeser could be a reasonable replacement for him in that lineup. And then you have the Detroit Red Wings, who could be on the cusp of losing out on Patrick Kane, who could be on the cusp of losing out on Tarasenko. They could trade him, they could buy him out, they could do something like that. If Brock went over to Detroit, having him and DeBrincat on a line together, I think is a really nice combo of American guys. I just don't know necessarily if Brock's foot speed would mesh with the style that the Red Wings have, but ultimately, that's a conversation that he'll have to think about with all these other 9 teams, so yeah, Brock Boeser, linked to 9 different NHL teams. That's crazy. He isn't the last guy, though, that is written about on this article. Pia Suter is also given a spotlight at the number 16 spot on David Pagnotta's top UFA list. After a solid season in Vancouver, Suter may be poised to cash in on a larger contract elsewhere this July. However, reports suggest the Canucks have re-engaged in contract talks with Suter's camp, so we'll see how that develops. Teams reportedly linked are to be determined. So yeah, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about all these Vancouver Canucks updates, how Nick Ehlers, Sam Bennett, they're linked to Vancouver, and how 9 teams are linked to Brock Boeser. Between the LA Kings, the Minnesota Wild, Ottawa Senators, Tampa Bay Lightning, Anaheim Ducks, Buffalo Sabres, Chicago Blackhawks, Nashville Predators, and Detroit Red Wings, they are all in on Brock. It's looking less likely that he re-signs in Vancouver, but then again, I don't think it was ever too likely in the first place. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Brock and this situation here. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.